Emotions, emotions, emotions. They percolate constantly up from within, and we're bombarded with them from the world. How do we deal with these emotions in a healthy manner? Hi, my name is Tina Worthey, owner of Open Heart, Open Mind Therapy. I help people in a holistic fashion get through areas in their life that keeps you blocked or stuck from your full potential, living in alignment with absolute love, success, and abundance. So how do we deal healthily with emotions? Well, in this video, I'd like to share with you a few techniques just through breathing and visualization that will help you process through some of these overwhelming emotions. But first off, what are emotions? Well, emotions, like everything else, is energy. And as energy, it simply is. It simply exists. And it simply wants to exist. It's one of our guiding systems. It colors our life. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to have emotions. It colors and shapes our life in most wondrous ways. Now let's talk briefly about the 4 ways that we avoid emotions. Suppressed and repressed emotions manifest as trauma. This energy gets trapped and stored in the body, so it becomes physiological, and it keeps us stuck in the past. For instance, say you're 16 and your first boyfriend breaks up with you. You feel unlovable and you internalize these feelings of unworthiness, which probably goes back even further to like my childhood and my relationship with my mother. Yes, mother. I could never do anything right. She had a very specific way of doing everything. And as an adult, I can see that is just her way to try to control a world she perceived she was not in control of. But from a little girl's perspective, I felt I wasn't enough. I was insufficient. I simply wasn't good enough. And these events continue into my present until I process through them. Some people believe that it's their right to express whatever emotion comes up fully and completely, but this is not always healthy either, because venting a feeling just gives it more energy. And we're talking about not fully processed emotions to begin with, so this just amplifies and triggers some of these repressed traumas. I would also add that letting go of an emotion is not the same as venting an emotion. Because when we vent or express our negative emotions in the presence of others, well, this can result in them suppressing, expressing, or escaping from these amplified feelings. Therefore, expression can sometimes lead to the deterioration and destruction of relationships, and this is not good either. So a far better alternative is to take responsibility for your own feelings and neutralize them. And that's the point we're trying to get to, is to find this neutrality, to allow an escape valve for these emotions so that we can find that inner peace within. And finally, the last method to avoid emotions is escapism. And there are a gazillion ways to escape from emotions. Drugs and alcohol are top of the list, Netflix, any way to distract ourselves from feeling. So how do we let go and process through these emotions? And is it enough just to simply notice, acknowledge, and experience the emotion? And the answer is yes, it really is that simple. And this is great news. Now, remember, we don't want to label emotions as good or bad. That's only our mind trying to give it our beliefs. But that being said, some emotions resonate on lower frequencies than others, and I'll use the Hawkins scale of consciousness as a reminder. I don't know if you can see, but on the lower, heavier end of the scale is shame, guilt, fear. And as you move up into the higher frequencies, the emotions of acceptance, love, joy, and peace. So the whole purpose of letting go of some of these, call them heavier emotions, is so that we can raise our vibrational frequency. One really great way to do that is through this wonderful technique called Somatic Release Breathwork. This was originally discovered by Stanislav Grof, who is doing research with psychedelics, psilocybin and LSD back in the 60s. And he was researching the therapeutic values these substances had in people with depression, anxiety, phobias, fear of death. And he was getting really great results until the government shut all that down. And he wanted to find a way to continue this research. And he found a natural way, because our bodies produce a certain amount of DMT in our cerebral spinal fluid that is activated through a specific breathing technique. So he discovered that through this mechanism, we can actually achieve an altered state of consciousness. And I believe that this altered state of consciousness, similar to the psychedelics, are not so much an altered state of consciousness as they are a lessening of the usual filters our brains have that limit our perception of reality. So, in this somatic release breathwork, you are able to tap into more of yourself, the more expansive parts. And another great thing about this technique is it totally bypasses the analytical mind, which, so you're not judging, you're not critiquing, you're not trying to, figure out anything. That part gets completely shut off. So we really tap into just the feelings and allow them to finally to express, because that's all they want to do in the first place. They just want to be present. And the natural lifespan of an emotion is very brief. When processed healthily and continuously, they arise, they dissipate, poof, they're gone. So this is a beautiful way to create this escape valve for decades, generations even, of some of this unprocessed emotion in a healthy, safe way. The yogis have known this for millennia, in that breath is what connects our physical to the non-physical. So releasing through our breath is a way to alchemize this energy and basically create an escape valve for the lower vibrational frequencies of emotion, and then allow in what you do want to replace that with. It's truly a transformative experience. You can liken it like we're carrying this huge 30-pound dumbbell weight with us, which represents all of our unprocessed emotion. And then after a session, you just feel lighter, almost euphoric. It's a beautiful thing. I have one-on-one sessions available. You can book a session on my website, or I also have links down below. I typically have group sessions via Zoom once a month for a hugely discounted rate where we can all get together and process our emotions together. Woohoo! And that actually amplifies the experience for all of us. So I'd love to have you join me on my next one. And now I'd like to lead you in call it a meditation, but a little process so you can tune into your emotional state. So if you'll just follow along with me, gently close your eyes. And bring your state into a nice relaxation. And bring your awareness to your thoughts. Where do your thoughts come from? Can you get a sense of where your thoughts percolate from? For most people, somewhere around the head. For me, I feel them coming up from the back of my head into the front of my head. And I also feel them coming from outside into my head. I believe that those are others' thoughts as opposed to self-generated thoughts. I'm able to perceive the energetic difference because I've been doing this for a while. But where do you perceive that your thoughts are coming from? And once you get a sense of that, see if you can move those thoughts down your spine so that you ground your thoughts through your root chakra. So send that thought energy down and perceive that they are now coming from the root chakra. And notice if that changes the quality, the frequency of your thoughts. The purpose of doing this is to ground yourself, to ground your thoughts, so that you can really bring your awareness into your emotional energy. Now we're going to use the breath. And I want you to visualize breathing also from the root chakra. You want to take a nice breath in. Hold it for just a minute. Then release. Tap into this root chakra. And one more time. Breathe gently in. And release. And we'll do this one more time. The purpose is to start becoming aware of what emotions might be present for you right now. And one more time, breathing in from the root. Holding it briefly at the top. And simply allowing the breath gently out. Now that you're grounded, I want you to become aware of any feelings, typically in these lower three chakras, that are either present or invite whatever wants to be released at this point in time. And get a sense for what that emotion, your emotions, whatever they feel like, Just allow them to be and really tap into that feeling. Don't, without labeling it, without judging it. The mind, we've shut the mind off. The mind is, we're in the emotional level right now. And just be with that feeling. In a moment, we're going to take 3 breaths again. And the purpose of this is to bring those feelings up through the heart chakra to be released back into the ethers with love and light. So tap into those feelings, and when you're ready, inhale them up through the heart. Hold for a moment. And simply let it go. And we're going to do this twice more. Tap back into the residual feelings, whatever it is. And bring it up through the heart. And release. And notice if there's any residual emotion. Simply allow it to be. And gently take a nice breath in through the heart and release it to the love and the light. I like doing this practice as part of my daily meditation to kind of a daily maintenance for processing emotion. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope that it brought you some clarity and understanding about our wonderful emotions. And remember, with an open heart and an open mind, anything is possible.